Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of First and Last. My name is Josh, and with me this week we have Joe.
Hey man.
And Jimmy's back.
Hey man. Oh, you took mine, Joe.
That has been Joe's for
Shoot.
86 episodes.
Really? Thinking the exact same thing.
I thought I said that.
The fans demanded that Jimmy come back, so we
Thanks,
acquiesced.
fans.
They were like,
This is all for the fans.
It's all the Jimmy boppers out there.
we keep telling them you're off saving whales, but soon we'll find out you've been sacrificing them the whole time.
The Jim Rats? Can we call Jim fans the Jim Rats?
Why don't we call them the Noodle Hounds because of Spaghetti Jim?
Hounds?
I don't know. Podcast hounds. The Noodle I don't know I don't know why I'm talking about dogs.
Pasta Pals?
Pasta Pals. Ooh. Spaghetti Jim's Pasta Pals. Those are our little first and lasters that think you are their favorite one.
There are numerous of them.
There's dozens of us.
Of us? Josh, you're one of them?
I'm a Pasta Pal.
Nice.
That's an Arrested Development quote, isn't it?
There's dozens of us. Yeah. It's
like that's why you said us.
Yeah,
because you couldn't help but quote Arrested Development.
Have to. I sneak one in every episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're doing a show today. But before we do that, Joe, what is First and Last? Because sometimes I think I'm going to just ask you like once every 5 episodes now.
See if I remember.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you know what we're doing? Do you know what we're doing here today, Joe?
Tell us.
We pick a TV show and then watch only the first and last episode and make a judgment on it. And then we make some predictions in between. Most of the time we haven't seen the show, and it's funny. I mean, you tell me if it's funny. I don't know.
It is listed under comedy and entertainment.
Huh.
More of a
leave us a note.
rom-com.
Tell us if it's comedy and entertainment.
I would say our first subgenre is podcast, and our second subgenre is comedy?
Podcast is a subgenre?
No, that's why. That was the joke.
We laugh along the way. We find out what other shows people have been in. Take a deep dive through IMDb.
Yeah. We find out who we are.
You download that,
and who these actors are.
You download that IMDb app yet, Jimmy?
Oh yeah, a long time ago.
Oh, okay. That's good. I thought you were still just in your regular browser, just browsing.
It's just off the top of his head.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's like, wait, that guy is in this other show, and then I confirm that, yeah, that guy is in this other show that I watched. That's probably about superheroes.
This whole podcast we're doing is just so Jimmy can get into some sort of epic 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon like battle royale with people and come out the victor.
I can't be stopped at this point.
You know it all.
86
6
episodes in? Yeah.
You've watched 86 TV shows.
Good luck
You're
to
unstoppable. You are unstoppable.
And Kevin Bacon's been in like a bunch of them. That's not true.
Has he been in any?
I don't think he's been in any.
We just watched.
Does he do TV?
We just watched Hollow Man one day.
He's for sure been in TV.
He had one show where he's some sort of serial killer or something, right? That's Kevin Bacon.
I mean, he
Dexter?
ends up trying to kill people in Hollow Man.
And Hollow Man.
Oh,
yeah.
that's great. What's his
when he shuts his eyes, he can still see.
Oh God, that would make you go mad. It really would. I haven't even seen that. I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that movie soon.
Hollow Man again.
Yeah, I
don't know why that movie stuck with me.
Like, did you like it?
I don't know
just
that I would say I
it?
like it, but I remember it a lot.
Yeah, right.
Maybe it's just because they got deep into like the lore of what it would be like to be invisible, and I was just like,
I mean,
my head.
and he does some really messed up stuff, and I feel like some of the stuff like right away, like it's like that's very not okay, but you're like not technically hurting anybody, and it's what almost everyone would do.
Like all the booby touching.
Well. Wait,
that's what I remember.
Does he touch boobies?
The CGI was like, yeah,
I thought he just spied.
Are we still talking about Kevin Bacon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I specifically remember the one where like he like reaches into some girl's shirt while she's sleeping and grabs her boob because
that's
like
Hollow Man.
There's like it's like the boob is like CGI'd to like make it look like there's like a hand grabbing
like
it.
an invisible hand like pushing on it. Yeah, that's
yeah. I remember.
I thought it was just like you just be hollow like invisible, and then you'd be like, oh, I'm gonna go like.
Kevin Bacon's been doing.
I'm just gonna.
tons
I would
of
just. I would
TV,
sneak into
guys.
boardrooms. I would sneak into locker rooms. I would sneak into like. I would just stand in the middle of a football field while like the Vikings are playing, and be like,
Just get a bunch of up close looks at stuff.
Yeah.
Places you're not supposed to
yeah,
be.
just places that I'm not supposed to be right there. I would just go do it. You know, some would be very very questionable, and some would just be like, he sat
Kinda
in
questionable.
He sat in like a Yahoo board meeting.
Yep.
Why? You know?
See if you can get into a bank vault
Yeah.
just by like following the right people.
You know what would happen though? This would be like if it was really like the Truman Show of like someone that's invisible. Be like, what if I can get in a bank vault? And you'd get into the bank vault and they like shut it, and then you'd just be there all night.
Yeah.
Question: when Kevin Bacon poops, is that remain hollow?
I don't remember.
Did they go over his bowel movements?
They had to have approached that, right?
I
I
don't
feel like I
think-
remember
I
a
feel
scene
like-
I
where
don't-
like he eats an apple or something, right?
Did you see the apple go down or something?
I
I
don't
don't think
remember.
you
Once
see-
it gets under his skin, it's got to be invisible.
Once he became invisible, I feel like not a lot of time passed after that. It was not like a full 24 hours
Like he
passed
wasn't enough
after
time for him to get hungry.
Hollow Man time. I think he got dark really fast after that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
he
enough.
went straight to booby grab and then straight to like, I'm just gonna murder people because I'm insane.
Well, we're not watching Hollow Man, and I don't believe there's a Hollow Man TV show.
I was wondering that
I
if
would-
there was like a Tremors the show
I would
or
watch
something.
that. I would watch it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I have realized that I think I've only had 2 shows this season that I've proposed and we've watched, and I realized they mildly have a they have a theme, and I'm gonna continue with that theme. And today we're gonna watch
Interesting.
Futurama.
Ooh.
Okay.
Wait. So then, what's the theme? Space.
Good
Yeah,
job, Jamie. You
okay.
did it.
Okay. Excellent.
Also, speaking of themes, it's coming close to summer, and I believe that means it's time for summer camp.
Oh man.
And I assume that we will do one. We'll do another month of summer camp this year, and I'm thinking we should do a theme summer camp, space camp,
Yeah.
dinosaur camp. I don't know, whatever. So
Love it.
I'm thinking that if anybody listening cares about potentially what theme we should do, you can hit us up at FNL Podcast on the Gmail or on Twitter, FNL Podcast, and suggest a theme. And I think at some point when this episode comes out, a day or 2 after that, I'll put a little poll up and see what our theme would be for FNL Summer
On the
Camp
Twitterverse
2. Yeah.
and all the verses.
So, I mean, if space is voted, you're ruining my theme for season 4. Take all my space shows.
There's tons of space shows.
I already had one locked in, and I couldn't get a hold of all the episodes I wanted. I could get episode 1, but I couldn't find episode 2. But I'll get it
You mean episode last?
for my final episode.
Yeah.
But Futurama, what do we know? Have we seen it?
I've seen,
It's
you know,
Matt Groening,
it.
isn't it?
Mhm.
It's, yeah.
Yep, Simpson man.
Simpsons guy.
I didn't watch it regularly, but I've seen, you know, a few episodes to know your basic characters.
You got Fry.
You got Fry.
You got Layla.
That's the girl with one eye.
Yeah, it's the lady from Married with Children.
Yeah.
There's an octopus monster.
I know her name.
Oh,
Heck yeah, there is.
Squidward.
Squidward. I thought you said Squidbird.
Squidbird.
half octopus man,
Hoiberg?
half bird. Zoidberg.
Zoidberg.
Obviously, there's the metal man.
Oh yeah, there's a robot.
Mhm.
Middleman.
There's
Metalman.
an Asian girl.
Oh, yep. And then there's that little like gremlin. Guy?
I don't know what
You
that
said
is.
Bender.
He's
right?
like a mogwai. Yeah, Bender. We can just call.
Katie Seagal.
Are you talking about the Married with Children lady?
Yeah. She's great.
But yeah. So it's obviously space. I'm pretty sure I remember how he ends up in like episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like remember the fluidity, and I've definitely never seen any of the later seasons
Mm-hmm.
of the show. But it's always one of those shows that I always want to just watch.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like, man, I haven't seen Futurama in a long time.
I remember when it was ending, and that some of my friends were like keying in on like watching those like last episodes. So I know that it has like a definite ending.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool, good. I'm good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. That's fun.
But it was like I
Did
think
not know that.
I think between the first and the like penultimate episode season and the last season, like there was a kind of a big gap. There was like a year or so.
Was it to switch channels or something? Or
I don't know what they did, but
there's no way, right?
but isn't it just like the main character Fry? He's like in our time, and then he gets like frozen or something, and he wakes up in the future.
Yeah, it's like 1,000 years or something, way into the future.
Yep.
Maybe not 1,000. Maybe like
10
years.
it's I'm just. I was
Is
like,
this
should I
Are we
save
doing
it?
Andromeda again?
Kevin Sorbo actually voices Fry.
Oh man,
You were wrong,
I
Jimmy.
bet he's a voice in this.
You were wrong, Jimmy. My theme for this whole season of First and Last is Kevin Sorbo.
That'd be a month. Kevin Sorbo month.
We're just gonna watch God's Not Dead, the super obviously great movie that Kevin Sorbo was in. And, like,
He was in that.
he was the teacher that had a cold heart.
Yeah, is that a Christian movie or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there CGI boob grabbing or what?
You have to look really closely, but an invisible Kevin Bacon walks through a scene.
Oh yeah, you can't see him though.
You can't see him because he's hollow.
It's in the way that like Split was like a surprise sequel. Like God's Not Dead is a surprise sequel to Hollow Man.
Yeah. Oh my God, Kevin Bacon's not dead.
I am God and I'm not dead.
Futurama.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Matt Groening, the guy who made Simpsons,
Mm-hmm.
and I would probably say this is. I mean, Simpsons is still on.
I mean, yeah, today it's still.
I don't understand how that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time you guys watched Simpsons? Like, when's the last time you saw a new episode of The Simpsons?
Like on purpose?
I mean, if you happened to turn it on when it was on TV,
Yeah.
and you saw a new one within like a month of it coming out, I have
don't know.
years.
I'm sure
years
on accident
So many.
at some
years.
point. I did for sure like want to go watch the Simpsons movie that came out in like 2009 or so.
That's probably the last like new Simpsons thing that I watched.
Yeah,
and that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was a thing that I went to go watch, and it was fine.
I think I saw that.
I think it was worth seeing.
Yeah.
Because Simpsons only have a movie every once in 30 years, apparently.
We now got Spider Pig. We'll always have Spider Pig.
That was really funny, though.
Does whatever a Spider Pig does. Still gets you.
Yeah, it's still funny. And you just said it, and it's still funny. So yeah, there's that. He's flexing his space muscle now. Matt Groening is, not Spider Pig.
Yeah. So did he started this like concurrently? Was he just trying to like do something else? Like, did he take a step back from The Simpsons at this point, or
That's a good question.
like was he just doing both for a while?
Well, I feel like he created The Simpsons, but he probably wasn't writing the bulk of it anymore.
Was he just sick of like? Did he just get bored of The Simpsons and was like, "Hey, I got some other ideas."
So it aired on Fox on March 1999. So that's when it aired for the very first time.
Oh,
It's a
that makes
pilot. It
sense.
went 140 episodes.
Nice.
So it's funny because on Wikipedia it says it went 7 seasons.
Uh-huh.
But if you look on Hulu where it's currently on right now, it says it's 10 seasons long, and it like breaks the
So it
seasons up a
Breaks
little
them up
weird.
more? Oh,
Because the
weird.
last episode of the list of all 7 seasons is still the last episode on Hulu. So I don't really understand why like the streaming service says 7 or says 10 and then everything else is 7. But it did switch. It went from Fox from 1999 to 2003 to Comedy Central to 2000. Wait,
Oh,
that can't be right.
interesting.
Can it be right? It says aired reruns. Okay, so it was on Fox.
Right.
Oop, I'm crushing my microphone. Sorry, guys. Sorry, listeners. But
So
I
yeah,
don't
it
know
aired
how
on,
this is working.
it aired on Fox from March 1999 to August 2003,
and then
was revived in 2004 because like it went to Adult Swim from like 03 to 07 where they were just playing reruns.
yeah.
Sure.
And then so people caught up with it, and then it was revived again in 2007.
No, 2000. The new episodes began airing in 2010 and 11.
So 2007 they made 4 movies.
Yeah.
They made movies?
Right. And then in 2009 they picked it up for new episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
That aired in 2010 and 2011.
And the show was renewed for a final 7th season. First half airing in 2012 and the second half in 2013.
Okay. So yeah, so it started out, went for a few years, didn't have much buzz, and then got more popular in syndication.
I did remember it
back.
I did remember it came back. Like I was like, oh, Futurama's on again?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if when it ended in 2003, did they have like a finale, or were they just canceled, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I would think it just got canceled.
I kind of assume so, especially because they were trying to get it back, you know. But that's cool. I'm glad it came back. I feel like people love it. Our friend Mark, who was on the Friday Night Lights episode of First and Last, I feel like he loves Futurama.
Futurama guy.
Futurama is his jam. So this one's for you, Mark.
Listen to the pod, Mark.
I'll text you when this comes out, buddy. I just remember being good. You know, it's not necessarily. It's like all cartoons are like for kids in a way.
This is an adult cartoon.
It's definitely an adult cartoon aimed more for an adult audience.
Yeah,
but still funny for kids. I feel like it's one of those
like teens. Maybe some dirty preteens.
Teens and in-betweens.
What?
I don't know what that means. I just said it. But we've all seen episodes of this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There was no getting away.
I feel like I tried to roll through this once on Hulu and probably didn't get super far like you do starting a show that's several seasons long.
I feel like it's easy to like quit cartoons.
Yeah. Still watching Bob's Burgers. That show's great.
But I don't watch. I love Bob's Burgers. Booze Boobers.
You love Booby Boobers.
I love Bob's Burgers, but I still haven't seen. There's new episodes on like Hulu and stuff that I've never seen.
Yeah.
And why? Just because I'm like, I'm not in the mood for a cartoon.
Oh, it's great.
But like, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work in a live action. Cartoons are so genius, you know. How much cheaper is it to have?
In general?
How much cheaper is it to make a space show when you just have to draw it?
Yeah, really opens up the doors of what you can do.
You can do anything you want.
You have a billion characters, just all voiced by
one dude. Hey, I'm on. Oh, I'm another one.
That's true. There's so many voice actors that do many different voices.
I don't think we have much to say left because I think we've seen it and we kind of know what's going on. So I think we need to watch this first episode.
Yeah.
Get into it and just judge it as a pilot and see if Futurama sets itself up correctly.
Yeah.
Or if it's doomed from the start, which I don't think that's true. Let's watch the first episode of Futurama called I'm a Spaceman, Mr. Fry.
Spaceman.
Someone's talking to Mr. Fry?
I don't know. I just made that title up again.
I think he eats fries in this first episode.
He eats fries. It's called
maybe a waffle fry.
Space Pilot 3000 is what it's actually called.
Cool. That's awesome.
Cool. All right, everybody. We'll see you.
Oh, because it's got pilot in it. I get it.
See, but that's a great way to put pilot in your episode.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt Groening. We'll see you guys after the first episode of Futurama. If you think we created the technology to make animals talk, would it be like a collar we'd put on them, or like a headband or a helmet we'd put on ourselves? Like I
think it would just be an iPhone you put in between the two, and it's just Google Translate.
Well, it'd be easier if you put it on yourself, because then you could just listen to all dogs rather than like everybody gets to hear your dog talk.
Walking down the street, he's like, "Hey, what's up?" Hey. And everyone's like, "Hey, could you make that dog stop talking English?"
Dog's just walking down the street like, butts, squirrel, butts. Hey, fat guy.
Get out of my head.
Zelda, calm down.
I apologize. I apologize. My dog's a rude butt guy.
Doug's really into butts right now.
He wasn't. He talked last week. Wasn't in butts last week. He just discovered butts. But. Hey, everybody! We're back from the pilot episode of Futurama, Space Pilot 3000.
Futurama.
That all made a lot more sense. Space, because they got a spaceship.
Spaced.
Pilot, because it's a pilot. And 3000, because it's the year 3000.
I hope one of your shows this season for your space theme is the show Spaced with Simon Pegg. It's like his first.
Oh, I know
his
what
first
it is.
deal.
I've seen some
It has
of it.
nothing to do with space at all.
It's just called Space.
It's just called Spaced, and I don't remember why, but I just remember that being like the best show I've ever seen in my life.
I remember when you loved it when it was first out. You like made me watch some of it back in the day.
Because it used to be on the flicks. I don't think it is anymore.
Oh wow! It wasn't even on at Netflix. I think when you made me watch this, it was like
really?
before Netflix.
Huh?
Because we're old humans.
Yeah, Humes.
Cool.
You got a write up for us, Jim?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah, this pasta pal wants a write up.
Oh. Okay.
Jim Rats.
This is what is this episode called?
I just said it.
Something-
Space Pilot 3000.
Yeah, okay. On New Year's Eve 1999, pizza delivery boy Philip J. Fry accidentally falls into a cryogenic chamber and is frozen for 1,000 years. Finally unfrozen, he explores New York and befriends a foul-mouthed robot named Bender and a lovely cyclops named Leela, and goes to work for his great-great-great-great-grandnephew's space delivery business. The end.
Oh, okay.
So he's
That's
woken
it.
up in 29.99.
Which is funny because the whole time he was fed up. So he's fed up with his job in 1999.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to be delivery boy anymore. Doesn't really care about his friends, or his girlfriend's obviously cheating on him. Well, she just literally broke up with him. And he's
Yeah,
like,
she's
"I
like,
don't-"
your stuff's in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like, I don't think this is going to work out.
I'm
Literally
suspecting
everything
that
is
you're
gone.
cheating. Yeah.
Because then he parks his bike outside the office building and someone steals his bike. Like, literally, he has nothing.
Yeah.
He has nothing.
And so, yeah, he's got nothing. He just literally he trips into like a cryogenically freeze
While
tube.
drinking a beer.
Yeah.
Not a Duff,
No, not a Duff.
unfortunately.
Did you see what kind of beer it was?
You couldn't really fully see. His hand was covering
Okay.
it. Things start with an L.
And then he wakes up in year 2999, New Year's Eve, and then they're gonna like assign him a new job, and his new job was delivery boy.
Yeah, because everyone he's assigned a fate. Everyone in the future is assigned a fate, and there's no other way they can escape it. This is just what you are, based on some algorithm. That's what you do.
That's some giver shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like was Matt Groening like, I want to make a space show. Also, I'm reading The Giver. For those of you that don't know, read The Giver, you illiterate bastards. And then also that book.
It's like a movie. You can just watch the movie.
Oh, don't do that.
I'm
I'm gonna be one of those terrible elitists that say there's no way that movie is.
I think Jeff Bridges is in it as the giver.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm into this.
I will watch that
The
show
dude
now.
is the giver.
I will. The giver, the dude.
Dude,
Zelda, the...
you're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
That's a bummer, man.
I would still say if you
That's
have
a bummer.
access to a bookstore or a local library where they would just let you have it for free for a limited amount of time.
That's amazing that we have that.
Read
God
the
bless
book.
America. We got
Yeah,
fucking
and
libraries.
no one
It's-
goes there
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
impressive because libraries don't exist anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. It's fucked up, right?
Yeah. America. Greatest world in the world. But
Okay.
so he gets a job giver style,
Mm-hmm.
and it's delivery boy. So he tries to run away from it because
Yeah.
obviously he's like, oh no, I'm back in my rut.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he
Mhm.
meets Bender, in which he thinks is a phone booth, which is a suicide booth.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh shoot.
That was one of the things that I read in the Wikipedia was that Like when Matt, I think it's pronounced Groening. I'm not sure. I'm
I
gonna
think-
say Groening. You guys say Groening. We'll have all our bases covered.
I'm gonna just call him G-Man.
G-Man.
When he was pitching the show, like Fox was afraid it was like too dark, and Matt Groening was like, "Well, like whatever. You people thought The Simpsons was too dark, but we made it work." And they're like, "We don't do business like that anymore." And he's like, "Well, I'm the fucking creator of The Simpsons, so this is how I do business."
And this is and this is 99. This is like prime Simpsons.
yeah,
Like this
so-
is like, wait, you have The Simpsons? Like you're the showrunner of The Simpsons and you want to make another show?
Mhm,
You're
mhm.
busy, bro.
yeah.
And he's like, no, trust me, I can do two. I mean,
He's like, I'm really actually not doing that much.
Yeah, so they worked it out, but it seemed like from the beginning, like Fox is not really on board with
Interesting.
this show.
crazy.
Idiots.
Yeah.
Because it's,
Stupid
'Cause
idiots.
I
I
don't-
hate Fox so much.
I don't think anything about, like, I haven't seen all of Futurama,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think anything bad of it really in my head.
Sure.
No, what is there bad to think about it?
Well, even like the suicide booth joke is like,
Oh, sure, it's dark.
yeah, it's dark, but it's you don't see anyone get killed or anything. It's not like that kind of thing. But
You see a dude walk into it and then not walk out.
yeah, as a kid, that just kind of washes over you. And you don't really think anything of it. Like it's more of just like, oh, like Fry's walking into like a thing that he thinks is safe, but it's really dangerous. Like
Yeah, that's all
kind
it
of
is.
the
Yeah,
thing,
it's
like-
just a little, and for an adult, it's like
It's-
mild.
yeah.
lit-
For an adult, you're just like,
the
fuck.
opposite of
Like,
safe.
should I walk into a booth right now and just end it?
I've been thinking about killing
That's
myself. Is this a viable way? Do we
It's a
have these?
real, yeah.
And do I have a quarter?
Also, isn't
It's
it
been a while
funny?
since I've had cash.
Isn't it funny that Bender has a quarter on a string and he won't even pay a quarter? Like he won't even pay the quarter out
To
to
die.
kill
Die.
himself.
I
Also, he was trying to commit
Can't
suicide.
take it with you, bro.
I wasn't sure about that. I mean, yeah, he did say that he like fucking hated his job and stuff, but
I think he's mostly pretty depressed in this show.
yeah, my thought was that he kind of just like, sure, he's depressed, but he's also a robot and he knows this thing isn't gonna kill him.
Okay.
Right? He'll still live. Through.
Yeah.
He just wants to feel something,
Mm-hmm.
which we all want.
That's kind of what I thought they were going with the joke, like that he wasn't actually gonna die, but he's just like real like
Just wants to
torn
watch
up.
the world burn.
What do you call Fry? He called him like a skin bag or something like that.
He called him
Yeah.
a couple of skin things.
Yeah.
A skin. He called him a skin tube at
Yeah,
one
it's the
point.
Skin
one, uh,
tube, that's
skin
good.
tube.
I think he called them both.
Ugh.
Skin sack, maybe.
cheese bag. It's a bag of cheese.
And then Leela like is chasing them throughout the episode. They go
Uh-huh.
to the Hall of Heads, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
It's a museum, but
Yeah,
Leonard Nimoy's in this episode.
the Hall of
Yeah,
Heads is
the actual voice.
like
of
they just got heads of famous people in jars.
just cry. Yeah, they're just
They're like alive still. They're like little fish. They can
Like you
just
do.
talk.
if you're a celebrity,
Mhm.
you
I love-
die, you put your head in a jar.
I love that Matt Groening put his head in the Hall of Heads
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
to Barbara Streisand.
Yeah. So you had Leonard Nimoy, and then you had Dick Clark
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
as the head, not in the museum, but as the like ball dropping guy,
Yeah,
still doing
hosting.
the.
He got attacked by
And it was really their
Nixon's head.
voices.
That was really his voice.
Nixon, yeah, it was really Dick Clark and Leonard Nimoy.
It was really Nixon's voice too.
Nixon, no, Nixon was obviously not, but Nixon was voiced by the guy who voiced Fry.
Oh, is it the same guy?
Yeah,
Okay.
Fry does. It's Billy West, and he does Fry and the Professor and Nixon, I think.
It almost makes sense that he does Fry and the Professor because they're related.
Related.
Good point.
So then yeah, they get away from
Literally not.
it's not nothing. They don't necessarily get away from Leela, but she just kind of like gives up and she quits her job. She pulls her
Yeah, she has a change of heart.
she pulls her thing out and then she's like, yeah, my job sucks too. And then they go visit Fry's nephew, the professor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's very old.
Yeah, and then he has a spaceship, and so they're like, cool, let's ride on a spaceship. And then Fry becomes an interplanetary delivery boy,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is like, I mean, I would do that. I would become an interplanetary,
Yeah, that seems dope.
That's
Interplanetary,
way-
whatever in front of your job is way better.
That's way more baller than pizza delivery boy.
Do you think that was his destiny all along?
To become a delivery boy?
To become an intergalactical?
Like
Galactical
that's
delivery
what
boy?
that's what his horoscope read that day.
Mhm.
Trip into
I don't
thing.
I don't know. I do like the idea that potentially there's a overlying story of like you can't maybe there's like, yeah, you can't.
That
you
Fry
can't-
was
can't
trying to
fight
escape
fate.
his fate,
Oh,
but then still ended up with it anyway.
interesting.
Yeah. So he was trying to get like he traveled 1,000 years trying not to be delivery boy, but in the end he just is one. But I mean, he's the coolest version of one you can be.
Yeah.
When that's
Sure.
dope. But maybe I want to see that. Maybe they kill Fate at the end of this episode. I need to write a new prediction.
Leela is the person in charge of giving these people their chips, their job chips, their giver, whatever things. And then so she's chasing them, and they go into the museum, and the cops come, and they're beating them with what you think is lightsabers, but there's literally just like cop what are those
Batons?
Like batons,
Police batons.
beating them.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who are like, you got to do what you do, and they, what is it? What's the saying?
You got to do what you got to do.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. And they use that as an excuse to like just beat them mercilessly. And that's what changes Leela's mind about giving them the chip.
Even in 1999, they're making like police brutality jokes because they were beating Fry with police batons, and they're like, "Stop it!" And he goes, "But we're peace officers. We're just doing our job.
This is what we do."
And it's like, "Oh, damn."
Classic.
Police have always been rotten.
Yeah, true.
My butthole still puckers up a little bit when a cop car pulls up behind me.
Your butthole?
Yeah, a little pucker.
You can't say pucker your butthole.
Just because you constantly have to poop.
You gotta bleep that.
I'm just always holding off a pooper.
Just always holding the turd back. We're having fun.
I mean, I think it's set up. I think this episode set up Fry good. I mean, he's someone that wasn't happy with his beginnings and has just a fresh start, in a new world. So now we get to learn everything with Fry. So it works for us as the viewer because Fry knows nothing and we don't know anything about
Fry
this
knows
world.
what we know, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
His frame of reference is ours.
And then he's got people that are also kind of, because I never thought, when I think of like Futurama, I think of Leela as like this like strong bossy lady, like very assertive and knows what she wants. But in this episode, she was like, you know what, you're right, I'm gonna quit too and like find myself.
Also figuring it out, yeah.
And then Bender was also like, I'm just programmed to do things. I'm a dick still.
Yeah.
But in Fry was like, hey, you don't have to do what you're programmed to do. And he's like, oh, I guess. So everyone
that was kind of the most literal example of like, hey, like just don't follow your programming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, hey, at home, if you're still not getting it, here's a robot.
So I'm thinking like, at least as far as pilots go, it was set up well. I think I'm ready for an adventure.
I just still really like that they worked pilot into the first name. But the second episode, did you see what that's called?
The series has landed.
The series has landed.
Yeah.
So still space themed, but also, hey, Fox bought this.
Nice.
Which is great.
We got him.
I don't know. Joe, how did you feel about it? The just as a pilot, I guess.
I think it was good. It felt a little like slow or clunky in parts, which I feel like isn't odd for. I feel like it's specific to cartoons for some reason that I feel like they feel a little slow in the pilot and then they like kind of pick up tempo as the show goes on. I don't know why that is.
It's because most cartoons don't have like a plot and they just are wacky and do whatever, and pilots kind of have to like
stop and explain.
Yeah,
maybe.
I've definitely felt that way about some of the live action pilots though too.
Yeah.
Or whole seasons of live action shows like The Office or Parks and Rec, where like you got to kind of get through the first season to get into the meat.
It's hard to look back at shows that you've seen all of. Like I've seen all of Parks and Rec. Maybe like I've seen probably every episode twice.
Sure.
potentially, but not in the order every time.
Mhm.
So then when I think of Parks and Rec, I think of like all of the characters that are in like the middle, you know. And then when you get to the first season, some of them aren't introduced yet.
Yeah.
So then it's easy to think that it started off slow or whatever, but it's just because it's like not the show you remember.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
nostalgia versus what's actually happening.
Mhm.
Is it as good as you remember? Go play a video game from when you were 9 that you think is the best video game in the world. I bet it's pretty shitty. You know?
Yeah, but you still love it.
Maybe. I mean, like Mario's still good, but like
Holds up.
Castlevania 2
But
sucks.
Home Alone is not great.
The tool
Mickey Mouse capades.
the tool time game on Super Nintendo. It's a really bad game. Just FYI.
It's too bad.
But I remember I remember the Jurassic
Go back
Park.
and listen to episode number 20. Nah.
I don't remember what episode it is,
I don't
but we
know.
did do that. Home Improvement. I
Yeah.
did
Go
play.
listen to the episode. Not as good as you remember.
I remember that being such a funny episode. No, I played that Jurassic Park Super Nintendo game.
Oh, God.
I remember that game being
remember it
great.
being impossible.
Yeah, but is it? You can't save. Did you know that? We played it in college.
Can't save in any Nintendo game
That's not true.
for the first few systems. They just give you a code when you die, and you got to write it down in crayon on something.
Fair enough.
I had whole
Crayon?
notebooks full of
You just sit
like
around.
a colored pencil or whatever's nearest, you know.
Why not just a pen, man? Why do you?
Some of it was probably in pen. Yeah,
were you
for
like?
sure.
Were you like doing? Were you
Not
doing,
all
like,
of it.
doing like arts and crafts in between, like.
Yeah, I was known to have a crafternoon or two.
Nice. Any other comments about this first episode before we?
No, done.
Oh,
No,
wow,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know. The hair didn't move.
No hair
All right,
movement.
Claire.
Cartoons.
I picked this because Claire's here next week, guys, and
Yeah, I'm saving whales next week in Guatemala.
well, actually, maybe Claire's here next week. We got to figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure
Hey
it out.
Claire, what are you doing?
She's
Text
not,
us.
she's not in this room right now.
Like or subscribe, Claire.
Predictions. Let's
Yeah.
go to it. I'll do mine because it's in my hand. I think someone in this episode gets cryo-freezed.
Okay.
Someone. Over under? Just kidding.
One. Yeah, one.
I just realized we had no octopus monster in this.
Oh yeah.
All right, keep going.
I think
No.
Nixon's head is involved again in this episode.
Okay.
I think he attacked Fry in this first one, and I think he's going to be back.
All right.
I was gonna say that he has like a full body, but then I just went with
Ooh,
a
fun.
different predict.
Am I not going to get a point if Nixon has like a robot body or something?
Oh no, not at all.
I think they get a new spaceship or at least a hella cool upgrade to the spaceship.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of like their big thing.
I think it's a rough predict.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like this
Sucks.
they gotta keep that the same from beginning to end, right?
I think they do until the very end when they get like Hyperdrive 45.
All right.
And then my last one, Tentacle Monster.
Tentacle monster.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Is that different? Like, decidedly from octopus monster?
Well, an octopus monster is an octopus that is a monster. A tentacle monster would be an octopus monster or any other monster that has tentacles.
Could be a squid monster.
The square is a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle isn't a square.
Unless it has tentacles.
Unless
Did I get shapes right?
then it's a
rhombus.
parallelogram. All right, those are my 4.
I have that Fry delivers a pizza.
Ooh.
Because I think he fulfills his destiny from the first episode and finally, delivers that pizza that he was gonna do.
That same pizza. It's 1,000 years old.
Yeah, maybe not that same pizza, but I think symbolically he delivers a pizza that finishes his mission. This is 2013, so I think there's an appearance of an Obama head in like the floating jar of presidents' heads. There's an Obama.
Ooh, okay.
Like
it.
I think that at some point in this episode they travel back to the year 2000 to see like what Fry had missed.
2000.
Yeah. And then I think at the end the entire gang like freezes themselves for 1,000 years.
Hey, as long as one of them does
To
it.
make it to 3,000 something.
3,099.
4.
Yeah.
Okay. Question: do you think he actually like could stumble across this like pizza, and it's like Domino's or whatever you find out, and it just hasn't degraded after 1,000 years?
I could see that being like a very like fast one-off in
Like a
like
quick
season 4.
One-liner joke about this pizza.
I think that delivered pizza thing that Joe said was one of the worst predictions I've ever heard.
just flat terrible. Garbage.
I just want you both to know that I liked all of your predictions as I'm about to read Okay, number 1. I think the Professor Farnsworth, is dying.
Okay.
Is his name Hubert?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Something like that.
Number 2. I think Bender drinks at least 3 beers/drinks.
3 drinks for Bender. Right.
Yeah. Which I wrote before he had a single drink in this first pilot episode. And then at one point, he just pulled out 3 beers from his stomach and drank them all at once. And I was like, oh, shoot. That's not even like... That's just a normal 1 drink for him.
That was funny, though, because he pulled out 3 drinks, and there's 3 of them.
For 3 of them.
And then he drank all of them.
Drank them all.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. So that makes me feel pretty comfortable about that predict. Number 3, Leela is cartoon intimate with Fry.
Cartoon intimate?
Could you describe that in detail for me?
Game of Throats.
No one knows what that means. That was a joke from before we started recording.
Oh crap! You're right.
That's Jimmy's porn/singing show based on Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Okay. Call back to things that never happened. I think we like they go off screen and you maybe see some clothes fly on the screen, but
okay.
Yeah. But the illusion is that they're intimate. Okay, number 4 is that Fry is accidentally frozen again.
Accidentally.
I like that we all have
the way that he's accidentally frozen in the pilot. I think he's accidentally frozen again in this episode.
I do like
and
that
that's the
we
bookend.
all think that people are gonna freeze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have an indescript anybody. You have everybody.
Everybody.
Jim, Joe.
Yeah.
And Jimmy has specifically Fry. So I am set up for a point, hopefully. Potentially. Does anyone, this is no one's prediction, but I just kind of thought about it. Does anyone think in some weird twist of events that Fry goes back in time to where he came from?
Yeah,
And
that was
that's-
one of my predicts.
Wait.
That he goes back to the year 2000. There's time travel back to then.
For some reason I thought, I don't listen to you.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't listen to Joe.
I literally heard it.
Wow.
But I feel like I thought you meant
Wow.
like they just like visit and leave. I don't know why. That's what I
If
thought.
they go back.
I mean, yeah, kind of. But I mean, it's time travel.
I'm just wondering if he like, goes back and stays.
Oh, no, I don't think he stays.
That's what I was asking.
Gotcha.
Like, do you think he goes back and that's his decision to just go back and stay? And he was like, "This has been great, but I think I've grown enough, and now it's time for me to go back and like live my real life."
That would be so fucking weird.
It would, but anything can happen. It's Fry could become a building.
In that
'Cause it's
situation, we go back to 2013. That's when this ends. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just think for Fry, that'd be weird to just like, you've seen a bunch of shit in the future and after you go back to shitty 2000, like,
Yeah.
smartphones.
But he does that. But he has like a teleporter or something. Like,
He brings
keeps-
like a bunch of
yeah.
technology with him.
he keeps something, and then he loses it immediately. Cool. All right. Well, let's watch the finale of Futurama. It's called Meanwhile.
Okay.
Meanwhile, like the Late Show with Stephen Colbert segment.
Is that
I think I should watch it. It's pretty good. Pretty good late night TV.
All right. Probably won't.
'Kay.
I could YouTube it,
Oh, for sure.
right? Because I
They
can't.
post like most of their episodes on Facebook
Yeah.
in segments.
All right. Well, hey, we'll see you, listeners, after we watch Meanwhile, the last episode of Futurama.
Meanwhile.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Allergy Talk 2019. Also, we watched the finale of Futurama.
Comment your favorite allergy meds.
What's your favorite allergy? Down in the comments
Yeah.
below.
You guys just
Rate us 5 stars for
Crustaceans.
allergies.
pop a Benny and then listen to the rest of this pod while you fall asleep.
Mm,
We'll get some like ASMR sounds on this, like
some deep sleeps.
whispers.
You have all the allergies. You're dying from allergies.
You know it to be true.
Keep talking about allergies for a second.
Sometimes I sneeze at my desk at work.
Gross, my man.
Yuck.
I'll be honest. I think the only time I just sneezed like 5 times right when before we recorded. And I think the only time in general that I sneeze is just at my desk at work.
Yeah.
So the other day I just wiped everything down because I'm just like, there's just got to be a ton
There's
of
particles everywhere.
there's
Yeah.
particles, poop particles everywhere.
There's
You sneeze poop out of your nose.
I just
Oh, you should get that looked at.
There's that guy Doug. He's been pooping on the desks. And I'm like, don't do that, Doug.
Yeah, I should give my desk a wipe down. I've been sneezing.
I know I just like hadn't like really wiped down like Clorox wiped my
Your
desk
butt?
down. My butt.
That sounded like you're gonna say butt.
You just
Ooh.
blow your nose with Clorox wipes. You're just like, this will all make me clean.
The bleach kills the feelings.
Yikes.
Is that how that works? You gotta write it for us, Jim?
Yeah. But now all I can think about is just bleaching and sneezing in buttholes. Okay, this is the best one that I could find. Which
Someone at some point in their life had to be into someone sneezing into their butthole, right?
That's definitely
That's a thing. That's a thing.
The dark web.
That's potentially a thing someone listening to this right now is into.
There's a subreddit for that, yeah.
And honestly, Doug, if you're into that,
And we know you
Yeah.
are.
DM us. I want to know about this.
I don't want
Josh
anything
just
to do
got a
with this.
sneeze primed for you.
Slide in my DMs, Doug.
No, don't. Oh,
I don't want to sneeze into his butthole or have him sneeze into mine. I just want to know about it.
you're they're sneezing and butts and sliding. I don't.
And am
Okay.
I opening a hole I don't want to go into, Jimmy?
Oh,
Too much?
the big opening.
We've gone too far.
So I started watching Friends.
Wait.
And where Joey's gonna be he's up for a role to be De Niro's butt double,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then they start making puns, butt puns, and Ross, the last one was like Ross saying, "This is the big opening you've been waiting for," and it's pretty. And then somebody sneezes into a butt. Okay, so this is called Meanwhile, and this is the one sentence write-up that I can find.
Mm-hmm.
Professor Farnsworth invents a button that can take a person 10 seconds back into time, inadvertently causing major consequences.
All right.
So that's what that says.
That's all that happened.
So much more happened. Fry proposed to Leela, was the whole thing. He wanted to make it last forever, so he stole the button.
That was so good of him jumping off the.
Yeah, so he
Vampire
accidentally falls
state
off, and he's been falling for a while off of the vampire state building.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Oh, I got the button in my pocket," but he remembers too late, and then he's just falling over and over.
Yeah, he fell for like 11 seconds or something. So
Yeah.
when he went back 10 seconds, he was still falling.
Yeah, right before he would hit the ground, he'd press the button and then go back up.
So while he's just falling and pressing the button forever and ever,
Because there's like a refractory period on the button, so you can't like go back in time. It takes 10 seconds to recharge.
oh right, yeah,
Mhm.
that's important. But then the rest of the group has their little time force hut that they can get into and not be affected by the button, and they figure it out, and they wander down every 10 seconds that they can move they can Flintstone it
Mm-hmm.
over to the vampire.
How long did that take? You know?
Several minutes, I'm sure. And Leela is getting there just at the time that Fry is kind of reaching the bottom. So every 10 seconds she like looks up and yells Fry. So then But then at a certain point, he kind of screws up his like refreshing of the button, and he dies.
He hits the ground and smashes and dies.
And Leela catches the button and pushes the button. So then he starts however many seconds up, even less seconds, and he keeps just dying,
just smashing
over
into
and
the
over.
ground. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the crew figures out something where Bender can like put
He's got an
a
airbag.
pad, underneath him and save him. So they like save him and break out of the chain, but then I think Fry falls on the button and crushes it.
Yeah.
And then it stops all of time in the entire universe except for Leela and Fry.
For some reason.
For no reason.
For all of the reasons. And then they get married and like go on to live full on lives while the rest of the universe is paused.
And then Professor is in some kind of thing somehow. Oh, because he hopped out of the hut, and then she pressed the button, and since the button sends you back 10 seconds to when he was inside of the hut, it just killed him.
Time can't find him. Doesn't know where to place him. So he presumably died.
Yeah,
He
went
just
into,
died,
like,
but really he was like
another
shot
dimension,
off into some
essentially.
other weird timey-wimey Doctor Who sort of business. And then he finally reaches them through his time tube when they're old.
Yeah, they've lived like a full life of marriage by themselves, exploring things.
And then Fry's got the broken button in a Ziploc in his pocket. So he whips it out, and Professor fixes it. And they're like, ready to do this whole thing again and go back to before I invented the time button. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then the credits roll.
Yep.
Yeah. So the assumption is that they go back. So did they become young again?
The assumption is
I think
we're going to get several new seasons of Futurama.
I mean, I'd be fine with that. Yeah, the assumption is I assume that they just go back from before right before the beginning of the episode in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And so Fry never proposes, and they are just they never get
Do
married.
they lose all their
Hasn't been
memories and
invented.
stuff?
Yeah, he kind of made it clear that like no one will remember that, so they won't remember their entire life together.
Wait, but question. So the very beginning of the episode, they go to the moon to some
Like
Luna theme park,
Mm-hmm.
and she gets sucked out somehow into space through like the atmospheric bubble. And that's why, but then she survives, and that's why Fry has this like premonition, like I'm gonna propose. And then after that, they're at like Professor's place when Professor comes out and is like, I just invented this button. So they're gonna go back after, like before the button comes out, but after
Fry wants to propose.
Fry already wants to propose.
I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there could be cartoon intimacy that we just haven't seen.
Eventually, yes.
Potentially, Jimmy. Yes. Potentially.
So half a point.
Yeah. I will give you potential points.
I've got two.
At the end, we'll score up real points and potential points. And for now, we have one.
I've got
how much potential points equals one real point?
It's just the potential point. It never crosses over.
Oh man,
I've got time questions for you guys.
Time.
love it.
Number one, if you were living in a state of perpetual time freeze,
Which I am. Go on.
what would you do? They did things like slept on a bed of pandas,
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
kind of stuff like that.
I
Is
mean,
there
it's
any
similar to like the
shenanigans?
Hollow Man question we were talking about before. Was
Oh,
that
yeah.
during the podcast or before?
No, that was the intro
Okay.
of the podcast. Yeah, we talked about
I
that.
mean, it's similar to the Hollow Man thing where like you can go places you're not supposed to. So like, I don't know. Yeah, they went to a zoo and like arranged some pandas and koalas into a bed and slept on that. That's kind of a fun idea.
And it seemed weird because their like physics based time like freeze was like they can manipulate objects.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously could like eat food and potentially cook food even on like still fire,
Mm-hmm.
but they could like walk on water.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like things moved for them, but not all the way.
Yeah, they kind of have to be directly interacting with it for it to come with them.
Yeah. What would I do? I'd probably, it's like I'd visit the White House.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Hollow Man thing, except that everything's frozen.
Seen it.
So like it's not quite as fun because you're just like,
It's like Hollow Man but shitty.
yeah, because nothing's going on. You
Is
just
there a
go,
movie like that?
It's like it's
a-
way less risque
yeah,
because
It's like a
you're
focus
not
feature
you're
about
not
that.
getting caught.
yeah, and there's nothing going on. Like you were talking about going into a boardroom, and like the intrigue with that is like you get to hear like conversations that you weren't supposed to hear. But like if you're to walk into a boardroom with time stop, then it's just like
You're not hearing
see some
anything.
dudes
Do you think if you were in a
Just
world
going
that was
nuts.
frozen for
Mhm.
like 30 years,
Mhm.
you'd stab somebody?
Eventually, right?
I'd stab everybody.
Oh.
Because wouldn't stop until I would stab
Who would I
everybody.
not stab
Wouldn't
in
you
that
be?
scenario?
Wouldn't you be fearful that time would start again? All of a sudden, there'd just be hundreds.
At that point,
I was
I'd
walking
hope
my
that
dog
time-
through Central Park, and now all of a sudden I'm stabbed.
No, that's just Central Park. That's
Fair.
your fault.
Fair, fair.
Is it nighttime?
I feel like it would be really interesting to do like a cross-country United States travel with time frozen, but I would be like fearful of like trying to like boat across an ocean or something like that.
Yeah, it'd be more
Which
similar.
they did apparently.
It'd be more similar to like a Last Man on Earth scenario where it's like you're just the only person that exists now.
Mhm.
Like there might be people there, but they're just like frozen entities. So
Might as well be the fleshy mannequins,
yeah,
which is a really bad way to think of a human, by the way.
Flannikins.
just meat bags.
And then also, how into are you of a 10-second button?
To go back 10
Yeah.
seconds? Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
I'm super into that.
That's like a
Huh.
superpower that I think of a lot.
10-second man.
Well, just the ability to like manipulate time, so you could, let's say, fast forward through things and like go back 10 seconds and
I feel like the ability.
stop time.
I feel like the ability to fast forward time
Mm-hmm.
is
So you want to be Doctor Strange?
once you start wanting to fast forward through time,
Mhm.
I think you should kill yourself.
That one gets dubious, yeah.
Because you've now lost like the wonderment of time. Like,
Mhm.
you know,
I think that at the point
Huh.
where I was thinking about fast forwarding through time, I was like, it's probably like in junior high, and just like, man, I don't want to sit through English class. I wish I could fast forward.
I wish I was an adult. I
I've
could do
definitely been
adult
in
things.
some like 2-hour meetings that could have been, like 3 emails that I was like, I wish, where I was just on my phone underneath the desk.
I mean, I guess don't get me wrong.
Like how do like managers and stuff not understand that everyone is just on their phone under the desk, you know?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of people just like to be in meetings, though.
I'm
Makes
not-
them feel like they're doing something.
I'm not on my
Yeah,
phone under
true.
the desk in a meeting. I'm on my phone just
I'm
on my
just
phone
snapping chats.
at the meeting.
Yeah, I mean sometimes I just like pretend like I'm like calendaring something.
So I guess if I had the power to control time and the only power I could do was fast forward,
Mhm.
it almost would I would assume that you're fast forwarding, but it means you're just doing everything you would do normally, but in a fast forward motion
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah.
but you just don't feel the passage of time in between.
I mean, essentially you could just be like, oh, I'm going to go to work from 9 to 5 or whatever.
Right.
I'm going to do my full day of work, but however, and you would get everything out of it that you normally would,
Right.
but you could do it in 5 minutes,
Right.
and you could vroom, and you're done with work, and now it's just time to like go hang out with all your
Right.
friends and do stuff.
Yeah, and
whatnot.
people wouldn't be like, Josh, you just sat in a chair for 8 hours. What are you doing?
No,
Like,
you would
they'd be
just
like, you'd be a
you'd
normal
literally
person.
be doing your work. Yeah,
And you'd
be
have
like,
all that information.
You'd be like the Flash at
Mhm.
work, but everyone would be going the same speed as you,
Mhm.
but you're the one controlling it.
Mhm.
I think that's worth it.
Interesting.
You just don't have to experience it firsthand. You can just get
Well, you're experiencing it firsthand, but you're experiencing 8 hours and 5 minutes.
I guess what I'm talking about is just like in like a lot of sports games, you can just like sim through the regular season. You just want to like
Yeah,
sim
sure.
through work and then just like go do the fun stuff.
Well, that's the difference. That's the difference. You gotta go is whether or not you're when you're fast forwarding.
Mm-hmm.
If you could like, it's like could you fast forward in the terms of could you speed read and like could you fast forward movies and stuff
Mm-hmm.
where you were just experiencing the fast forward and time was
But
going
time
the
stays
same.
the same.
So
So
like
you just have more
Oh.
time.
so I could read a ton of
I like
books in a
that.
day. you know?
Yeah, I guess I've
Or-
thought of
I
it.
like that, but even
I've thought
or-
of it in a way where like, oh, what were you gonna say?
Or just like you speed up the 8 hours of work and the whole universe speeds up with you.
Yeah,
Those are kind of like two different ways of speeding up time.
I was thinking of it in a way where you could, if you wanted to read a bunch of books quickly, you would have to stop time and then read those books and then continue time. So you essentially have infinite time to go do whatever stuff you want, but you couldn't like.
sure.
So you
quickly
really don't
read these
speed
books.
up time. You actually slow it down so
Yeah.
far.
Well, the other part is you could just like sim through a day,
Yeah.
sim through a year.
My question is, so
Freaking
if
me
you
out.
Dangerous.
speed up
It's getting
time,
dangerous.
if you speed up time, but you're speeding up time for everyone too,
Mm-hmm.
then like all this mundane stuff feels like 5 minutes. But then how does that make you feel like all your like extracurricular time? Does that
Yeah.
make everything
Seems like it's super long.
Yeah, are you like super more present to that time then? Or does that time now feel mundane because it's going slowly?
Yeah,
I think you might have
just
trouble.
Fast forward all the
I
way.
think you
through.
might have trouble sleeping.
Like
You know,
you could fast forward that
You
time.
only feel like you've been awake for like 8 hours and 5 minutes when you've really
Yeah.
been awake for like 16.
You got to be careful with the fast forward.
It's a dangerous
Oof.
tool, Jimmy.
But the
Oof.
pause, you could do that a lot because you could stay up
I'm down
all
with the
hours of the
pause.
day.
See, I would utilize the pause because then I would almost like pause
Yeah,
to sleep
yeah,
and then wake up and
Mm-hmm.
unpause.
yeah.
Because then you would literally never waste time sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
This is a question I heard someone ask. Hey guys, we're gonna get back to Futurama. I promise. I
In the
heard-
future.
I heard a question, and I don't even know why it was a question. It was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask it anyway. Someone was like, "Would you?" I forgot it.
We'll
Go
go
back
back in
10
time.
seconds.
Oh, no. Would
20
you-
to
would you-
remember it.
Would you rather stop sleeping or stop having sex?
Why
What?
is that the...
And it was like, in the one of and it was some podcast. I don't remember what it was, but someone was like, "I love sleeping so much," and it's like, but it's like you would assume that means if you stop sleeping, you don't need to
never feel
you
sleepy
don't
again.
Need to sleep anymore.
That'd be fucking fantastic.
Wouldn't it be amazing? To
I'm
not sleep?
sleepy now.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sleeping.
I enjoy sleeping, but I probably enjoy sleeping because it's a thing we need to do.
Yeah,
But if I don't have to, and I could just
I
stay
thought you were
awake
going to
all
say
night-
something like, I enjoy
Yeah.
sleeping because sex makes me sleepy. And which is like a catch-22.
Sorry, fair enough. But I mean, I feel like you could say, would you rather not do this or not sleep? And most of the time, I mean,
yeah. Sleep's a waste of time.
get rid of sleep. As long as I'm like, oh man, you mean am I just tired all the time?
Oh yeah,
That'd
you just
be
never
terrible.
fall asleep.
Yeah,
That's a different
like
thing.
yeah, if you can't fall asleep or you don't need it,
That's
Yeah.
a quick trip
Just
to
never
the
need sleep.
suicide booth is what that is.
only takes a quarter. I got one right here.
I love, does that mean there's just no inflation 1,000 years from now? Everything's...
The go back 10
Things are
seconds
cheap.
thing though is great though because you could just like fuck around with everything.
Yeah,
Like you just
you
Man,
just try it
there's
out.
just-
Let's just
just-
try this
yeah
out.
you would
just
not
some-
you would eliminate small mistakes from your life.
Yeah.
And by that I mean like you would never like drop a cup or something.
Could you
You
imagine?
never-
You could be at work.
Yeah, spill
and
your coffee.
You could
ever
be at
again.
work and like somebody would be like, "Yo, what's up?" Like whatever, and you go, "You know what? Stop fucking telling me it." Like,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah,
you,
you could-
dude.
Bitch
You could do
slap
fucked up
somebody
shit.
at work
And you could
then
do that,
back
and,
it
then
up.
go
they'd be
back.
like, "Wait, what?" And you'd be like, and then they'd be like, "Hey, what's up, dude?" And I'm like, "Hey, man, how are you doing? Everything's great." And
Oof.
yeah.
Even that could get dark fast. Too.
That yeah, because
you could actually just murder somebody and then go back to.
Yeah. Is it murder
Like,
if you can
it's a-
just bring them back to life
I
with
think
a
it's
button?
I think it's a fast line from swearing at your coworker
To Hollow
pressing
Man?
the button to
straight Hollow Man.
slitting their throat, and then I think that line is exponential.
Yeah.
with
Well,
the
and
button.
then at that point where you can kill and bring back to life, does life mean anything to you anymore?
you just got it at that point.
I mean,
Yeah.
it has to keep meaning at least something to you, or else you'll stop pushing the button.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just your game now,
Interesting.
right?
I mean, it is a game, but
Oof.
you still understand the rules of the
This
game,
got
and
dark.
therefore it has a meaning.
Oh, you're saying like if life really didn't matter to you, then you
I
would just
think at a
murder all the
certain
time.
yeah.
point-
There's a potential that like
You're
might,
gonna cross
you
that
might
line.
just stop pushing the
You're
button.
gonna forget to push that button because you don't know what world you're living in anymore.
I don't think you forget. I think you
I
don't
think
care.
I think you get to a point where you're slashing throats at work,
Yeah.
you're gonna stop pressing that button, and life's gonna get real nuts.
I want this button, man.
So Futurama.
I fell into a time
what
warp
a
once.
what?
You remember Zelda, The Legend of Zelda, Link's Awakening, the Game Boy one?
Okay.
So there's like some sort of like glitch you can manipulate that lets you essentially like skip screens so you could walk into places you're not supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like fucking around with that and like getting around in places where I'm not supposed to be. And then there's a thing where you like drop down a hole and you drop down into like this pool of water, which like normally by the time you get to that part of the world, like you have like the fins so you could swim, but like I didn't have the fins yet, so I drowned. But like in my panic, I like hit like whatever the special buttons are to like go to like save and quit.
Okay.
I was like, oh fuck, I fucked it up. Save and quit. So I saved and quit, but then now every time I open up that file, I just keep continually drowning and dying.
Did you lose respect for life itself after that?
I mean, I stopped playing the game
I mean, yeah. So there eventually are repercussions
because I couldn't get out. I would just you open up the game and you just immediately drown.
to your life fuckery. There's repercussions. It's dangerous. It's a dangerous game for sure.
It's dangerous.
Interesting. I liked this last episode of Futurama.
Yeah, this is great.
It
was
was
a great way to end.
I think Joe has a problem with it.
No, it was a very interesting sci-fi premise, and it was really cool to see what they did with it. The only bummer is that it's only a Leela, and Fry episode.
Yeah, but they are. I mean, Bender's a robot,
Yeah.
so inherently he has less value.
Mm-hmm.
He's a
And-
comedic
And
relief.
and then you take Layla and Fry, and they're obviously the main characters of the show.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I just
will they,
imagine
won't
there's
they?
it is an ensemble cast.
They're about
of course.
to finally
Yeah.
will they, and then to the won't they, and then the show ends.
Jimmy, you're just mad because there was no implications of banging.
I just mad 'cause I don't think I got a point. I
Yeah.
thought Professor like died, and then he came back at the last second.
Jimmy, Claire's been on this show once in the first 6 seasons of this season. She has more points than I do in this season, so don't worry about it.
Wow, she killed it last week, huh?
No, she got 2 points.
Oh,
I'm doing terrible.
we're
The defending champ is falling hard.
yeah.
Yeah, I assumed it would have been like an ensemble adventure, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't. It focused. I think
Yeah.
focused one is important, but it would have been nice if they would have had maybe some little thing, like a little side story or something, even.
Mhm.
Sure.
But
Or a single floating head. Am I right?
I do like the ending non-ending. It's like they completed their entire journey,
Yeah.
but then it got reset.
Yeah, so it
I
could
bet
just
Simpsons
not be an ending.
ends like
Yeah.
just the exact same.
But
way.
it was an ending that felt like an ending that
Mhm.
also felt like it could have not been an ending.
You guys seen Mighty Max?
Yeah, I used to have so many Mighty Maxes.
You seen like the end of Mighty Max?
Like cartoon.
I probably have.
Maybe we'll
I
do it
haven't
during
seen
summer
any
camp or
of that.
something.
I would
'cause
love to see Mighty
That's
Max.
got an interesting time paradox ending
Virgil.
for a little owl named
He's an
Virgil.
owl. He's great.
I had a couple of those, but I have not seen the show at all.
Well, if we do Mighty Max on the podcast, we
Yeah.
can play with my Mighty Maxes while we watch Mighty Max.
Yes.
I'm into
That's
that.
what I'm
Because
talking
I'm
about.
34 years old and I still have Mighty
I
Maxes.
think I have some in a box somewhere.
One day, like 2 years ago, my mom just was like, "Here, I found some toys," and she just gave them to me.
Nice.
And then I looked them on eBay, and they're worth like money. And I'm like,
Ooh.
but these are dope. I'm not selling them.
$50 or a nice little playset. I'm gonna
$50
take the playset.
or once a year, I take them out and play with them.
Worth it.
I don't need some oily skinned little brat playing with my Mighty Maxes. All I'm saying is, all in all, I thought it was a good last episode, and I'm reinvigorated to watch some more Futurama. Could this be my new Malcolm in the Middle?
Sure.
Sure.
You can watch the movies at least. There's movies. There's like 4
Yeah, those are
movies.
fun.
Shoot.
Yeah.
And the way Hulu broke them up was they were just like all of season 6 on Hulu was all the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still don't really understand how Hulu is breaking that up. The math still doesn't work out
Yeah, how it got to
to be 7
seasons.
seasons. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not
I'm
important.
not about to do the math.
I'm not a mathematician.
Except for when it comes to my points.
Run us through it, Jimmy.
Professor is dying. Well, I mean, technically that was true at one point, which was kind of the way they did that. It was like, oh, it was just kind of out of the blue.
Or that he
They
came
set
back.
it up,
Or that
and then
he
he came back.
poofed away.
But what I wrote was Professor is dying.
He presumably immediately died, but he didn't actually die. He just like got lost in time and then found his way back. So no points.
Then I wrote Bender drinks 3 drinks, beers.
I counted
/ drinks.
2.
He had 2.
He had 1, and then he goes
1.5,
frozen
really.
in between. Yeah, the second one, which is pretty sad. Leela is cartoon intimate with Fry. Even though they were married, we never saw any consummation. Just a lot of smooches.
As far as I know, they can still get this marriage annulled.
And then Fry's accidentally frozen. No freezing at all.
I was
No
sure
freezes.
I was gonna score a point for that. I thought you were too specific and Joe was too vague, and I thought I was right on.
I thought there'd be a callback.
Yeah, right.
So I got a solid 0.
Sure did. Well, here I'm probably gonna join you. I said someone gets cryo freezed. Nobody did. I think Nixon's head
Creased.
was going to be involved.
No heads?
No, he was not. I think they got a new ship or a hella good upgrade to their ship, and there was no spaceship. And like, really, I mean, they got.
saw it at the beginning when they flew to the Luna theme park.
And then I saw Tentacle Monster, and they rode a carnival ride called like the hexadecimal octopus cycle, but that was a ride, not a monster.
Not a monster.
So I'm gonna go with 0 as well.
Yeah.
I have the gang freezes themselves for 1,000 years. They did not. At least, no, it wasn't 1,000.
Hey, at
years.
least
they paused.
You were close, as in the terms of the game. The gang was at least all playing with time, but
Yeah.
it did not in the way that you were guessing.
I have that Fry delivers a pizza. That's a no.
Unless that box had a pizza in it from the beginning.
Yeah. An Obama head. No.
Nope.
And that they travel back to the year 2000. No.
I thought they were gonna do that for a second.
I think that all of these things are done at some point in the show. Like they have to go back
But like
to
in the
present
Simpsons,
day, right?
Because it's been going for 30 years.
Yeah.
I saw a thing that someone like commented on someone's social media that was like just straight up a really long-winded Simpsons quote and was like, and then later was like, there's a Simpsons quote for every situation. I'm thinking like after 30 years, there's probably like at least 2 quotes for every situation, you know?
Just any phrase or word that you've said has been said in the
You
Simpsons.
could easily, yeah.
Cowabunga,
Don't have a cow.
eat my shorts.
Are these Ninja Turtles?
Cowabunga was, but eat my shorts is what like Bart says.
But Bart definitely says cowabunga.
Well, hey, we all had a terrible showing today, guys. 0 points all around. So.
All right, let's just delete this episode.
Learn something about time travel. Yeah, let's just go back to the beginning. Let's try again.
Start over.
10 seconds at a time.
10-second rule.
Cool. Hey, everybody listening, we thank you for watching, even though we've disappointed you and couldn't predict anything to save our lives.
Yeah, let's just go back to the beginning.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to redo this whole
10
thing.
seconds at a time.
So, Josh, what show are we watching this week?
The Simpsons. I know it's not
Still
over,
going.
but we're just going to watch the latest episode. If the listeners out there want to comment, rate, tell Joe stuff, whatever. If you're part of the Pasta Pals, let us know.
Pasta Pals. I still like Gym Rats better, I think.
Actually, I think you have to let us know if you're not part of the Pasta Pals.
Because
Pasta Pals.
oh, are you just
You're
like
assumed that you're
you're
part
assumed in?
unless
Okay.
otherwise noted.
like that? Hit us up if you're not part of the Pasta Pals.
The like fun Jimmy fans are the Pasta Pals, and then like the gross weird ones are the Gym Rats.
They're just like me and you.
People who are like weirdly into Jimmy, those are the Gym Rats.
Cool.
FNL
Yikes.
podcast at gmail.com or the at Twitter at FNL podcast if you guys want to talk to us about any of the things we just said about. Make show suggestions. talk about Pasta
What are you
Pals,
saying
be a
about-
gym rat. I'm just saying things now. But hey, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.
Mean Girls.
And
Fetch.
have a good next 10 seconds. Bye.